Hello there, and welcome back to this episode of Ignition Time. I'll give you the latest status of the economy. I'll tell you the irony of the massive $1.9 trillion stimulus package, the risks of underspending as we see new opposition from Republicans. If you've been following my channel, I did do a video on Republicans in the House and the Senate gearing up to gather votes to oppose the massive $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan from President Biden. Where things are right now is that the entire bill is being drafted by different committees in the House. As you know, we have a package, the plan, the American Rescue Plan, that then becomes a bill which is drafted in the House, and that bill has to pass both the House and the Senate in the same form. In other words, if it undergoes any changes in the Senate, it goes back to the House, and then the House needs to pass it again, and then it needs to end up on the desk of President Biden before the 14th of March, and when the president signs it, that is when the bill becomes law. Now, the irony of this entire situation is that all this extra stimulus will further boost the stock market. And the individuals who are making money in the stock market, or I should say making more money in the stock market, are already individuals that have money and that are successful to begin with. You've heard me talk about the K-shaped recovery, and here's the K on your screen right now. Individuals at the top of the K are already doing quite well, and they have more money in the stock market. Individuals at the bottom of the K are individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality. Individuals who have lost their jobs permanently. Individuals who are now experiencing long-term unemployment. They've been unemployed for 6 months or more. Individuals who are depending on stimulus checks and unemployment benefits. And again, what is ironic about this whole situation is that if we overspend, yes, there could be a risk of inflation and interest rates can start to go back up again. But if we don't do anything, we'll start to see more unemployment. We'll start to see more mental problems, more physical problems. We'll start to see more long-term economic damage because individuals who are unemployed for long periods of time find it hard to get back into the workforce. They end up accepting jobs that are not commensurate with their skills, and they end up accepting lower paying jobs, and that results in a reduction in the skills that they gathered by spending money, by going through extensive education and through all of their experience. If someone has a skill, whatever that skill might be, let's say that skill is working in the hotel industry, let's say you're a chef working in the hotel industry, you went to school to learn how to cook, it's probably your passion and it's something that you enjoy doing. If you've been out of a job, not only are you going to probably end up doing a different job, but your ability to cook as well, your skill actually declines. And this is the horrific part, this is the horrific downside of small stimulus, of undershooting rather than overshooting. And there are many things that our country is grappling with right now, not just the stimulus package. In fact, the next plan, the Build Back Better agenda, which is expected to be a $4 trillion plan. Yes, you heard it here first on Ignition Time. It's expected to be a $4 trillion plan. That plan is likely to create millions of jobs. That is the position of the Biden administration. I do feel, however, that there's one thing missing in the massive $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, and that's money for retraining. I do believe that there needs to be more money for retraining individuals who have been left behind, retraining the unemployed, so they can develop new skills in a new world where the future of work involves some degree of automation. Let me know what you think about that. Speaking of all the different problems that we are grappling with, President Biden said this today in an address. He said a lot of really interesting things, but the one thing that he said that was interesting as far as our country is concerned was this. Historians are going to examine and write about this moment as an inflection point. And I believe with every ounce of my being that democracy will and must prevail. He is, of course, referring to the incident that took place on the 6th of January. Let's roll the tape and hear from the President of the United States discussing something that is of significant importance to our country. Let's watch.
And those who understand that democracy is essential to meeting these challenges. Historians are going to examine and write about this moment as an inflection point, as I said. And I believe that every ounce of my being that democracy will and must prevail. We must demonstrate that democracy can still deliver for our people in this changed world. That, in my view, is our galvanizing mission. Democracy doesn't happen by accident. We have to defend it. fight for it, strengthen it, renew it. We have to prove that our model isn't a relic of history. It's the single best way to revitalize the promise of our future. And if we work together with our Democratic partners with strength and confidence, I know we'll meet every challenge and outpace every challenger.
And while the president is busy with that, while Janet Yellen is busy pushing for more stimulus, while pretty much every Democrat is pushing for larger stimulus, we can see the priorities of Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator from South Carolina. There he is. What's up, Lindsey? So Lindsey is quite busy. While all this is happening, he plans to go to Florida and play golf. You'll see this tweet on your screen from Manu Raju over at CNN, and this was reported by Dana Bash over at CNN. Amidst this entire feud, remember, there's open warfare between former President Trump, what's up, former President Trump, and the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell. What's up, Mitch? How are you? They are not talking to each other. They are at odds with each other. The only thing that former President Trump cares about, and he said that, is loyalty to him. And the only thing that the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell cares about is electability of future candidates and regaining control of the Senate for the Republicans. He is the Senate leader. Let's go back to this tweet on your screen again from Manu. And Manu says, amidst the feud between former President Trump and the Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator from South Carolina, is heading to Mar-a-Lago on a peace mission, and he's going to be playing golf. We'll provide you with a link to this tweet as well as a link to the article in the description section below. Check it out and let me know what you think. Also, if you learned something new from this video, please click the like button. Please subscribe. Please enable notifications. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm, and that would mean a lot to me personally. If you click the like button, I can tell you 3 people are going to be very happy. I can tell you that President Biden is going to be happy. I can tell you that former President Trump, there he is, what's up, is going to be very happy. And we might actually get them to agree on something. I can assure you that former President Trump and President Biden agree that you clicking the like button is important for the YouTube algorithm and does help the Ignition Time channel. I'm sure that's true. Well, I hope that it's true, and when I wake up in the morning, I imagine that it's true. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time, and I appreciate you being a viewer and a subscriber. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.